on Paradise Bay once again, and you can tell from this that we're going to talk about nuts and bolts. Well, actually, fountains. And what could be better than to talk with fountains with technical director Chuck Jones and fountain designer Jason Badger. And you guys, did you finally get some sleep last night?
Well, I got a nap a little earlier.
Yeah, I'm about the same as Jay.
Because of course, they just opened the show last night, and I want to know, when did you actually start working on the new World of Color Celebrate?
Oh, 2 years ago.
2 years?
Well,
Yeah.
we started creative development about 2 years ago. We've been out here every night for about 3 months.
About 3 months.
Yes.
And now some people are going to say, what would we need to have new fountain designs for? They have what? 20, 30, 40 fountains out there on the platform?
Or 1,200.
1,200 fountains. And how intimately are you acquainted with each of those fountains?
Very. We've had a relationship for probably 7 years now.
Uh-huh.
You know, at least 2 years before we opened the original World of Color.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say we're quite intimate now.
And new fountains for this show?
Mostly, we've got other big effects. We've got a lot of lighting effects. We've got some elemental effects, and not too much in the way of new fountains. But Chuck can show you.
I was going to say, elemental effects sounds like a technical term. So for elemental effects, dealing with the elements, like
Sure.
earth, air, water, and fire. There's some fire. If you haven't seen the show, spoilers, fire and smoke.
There's
Yeah.
What
some fire.
about them?
There's some fire.
There's some fire. I
Yeah.
could feel the fire
Well,
all the
there's
way
just
back
a
by
little
the Little
bit.
Mermaid attraction.
I'll bet.
and the smoke effect, that big smoke ring, was that intentional?
Well, it will happen naturally sometimes.
Uh-huh.
But
It is a bonus. It's a
It's a
bonus.
bonus.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. Well, I'll just once again cover your ears. Ba 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 ba. If you don't want to know, the most amazing towers of fire, followed by these plumed columns of smoke and smoke rings. But now this one that we have right here does not actually do fire, smoke, or smoke rings, does it?
No smoke
It does
rings.
not.
Now this one looks like, since it's sitting here in this extremely technical device, which I believe is called a wading pool.
This is state of the art, by the way.
State of the art Disney. It's a pixie dusted wading pool. It's a very special wading pool.
It
Tell
is.
me what we're looking at right now. This thing's rotating.
It is. You're looking at one of our automated fountains. It's called a water whip.
Okay.
There's around 200 of them, of the 1,200 fountains out on the array.
Or 199 right now.
Well, yes.
You'll get it back before tonight, right?
Well, sure.
okay.
Well, this one you never know. It's gonna be like the Hatbox Ghost. So in probably about 20 years, it'll reappear.
For the big 90th celebration, the return of the water whip
Of the water whip
to
fountain.
World of Color.
Exactly.
So are you going to show? Is it going to do some tricks?
Well, we are. We're gonna put some water out of it.
Okay.
So if this were actually out on the array, it would be 85 feet tall, and we'd all be wet.
I feel like I'm at my dentist's right
Yeah.
now.
See. You know.
Okay.
So and you know it has its red, blue, green light, which is just like the same lights
Oh,
that
I
work out
see.
here.
I don't know
right?
if you can see them, but there's a red, green, blue array of lights around the base, and that's what gives
It is.
your incredible array of colors.
It is. It is. They're super high-powered LEDs, and they shoot all the way up through the to the column of light, and they'll turn it any color we want. And then the other thing, this has a neat feature. It will switch nozzles. So during the show, we will switch to the fan nozzle for different effects, and then this will actually become a projection surface as well.
Oh, the big screens that we see, Neil Patrick Harris. Now, if you haven't heard that, you have not been reading any social media. We see Neil Patrick Harris and Mickey Mouse actually projected on these water screens.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
These are the water screens when we bring them down in and they actually start to interact and dance with the fountains.
Ah, okay.
This is how we do it.
Okay. Well, that's pretty amazing, and it's wet. It's splashy and wet down here. So before we end up soaking everything and shorting out the circuits, we're going to say thank you very much, Chuck. Thank you, Jason.
Welcome.
And thank you for reading. And you've got to get down here and see World of Color, even though you won't be able to see Water Whip number 200, which will either be somewhere over at Disneyland hiding out or underwater out here in Paradise Bay. Thanks for reading. Thank you.